In today's video, we'll do a full review of this Venezianico Nereide Titanium. I'll point out all the positives and the negatives as I find them. But now, as always, let's begin by talking about the case and the dimensions. This diver comes in a 42mm case. It's about 49mm from one lug to another. The lug opening is 22mm, and this watch is not overly thick, about 12.8mm in case height. The case and the bezel are made out of titanium. It features all brushed finish with a couple of high polished bevel edges on the lugs as well as under the case. At the back of the case you will find a screw down case back, which is kind of different from all of the other models. I reviewed a couple of other divers from Venezianico and both of them featured case backs secured by screws, even though they had pretty impressive 200 meters of water resistance. On this watch the water resistance is bumped up to 300 meters, and as I already mentioned, this one does feature a screw down case back. Another element of this watch that helps with water resistance is the screw down crown. That one is located at the 3 o'clock position. It's housed within these crown guards, and it is a signed crown with a Venezianico logo. The crown action is very nice and smooth. It's easy to screw and unscrew. The thread is good, and the knurling, the grip is also very good. Another part of this watch that features pretty nice grip is this bezel. It's a 120 click unidirectional diver style bezel. It's made out of titanium with the titanium bezel insert. It is also a loomed bezel, which I will demonstrate in a minute here or so. But first, let's talk about the bezel action. It's nice and smooth. It does have quite a bit of resistance. It is satisfying to turn, and it does feature sort of this substantial feel. I find that a lot of titanium diver watches don't have that same bezel action because the cases and the bezels are more lightweight and they kind of feel tinny. Not the case with this watch. It does feel pretty nice and solid. And finally, at the front of the watch, you find a flat piece of sapphire with some AR coating. The piece of sapphire fits into the case really well. There aren't any awkward gaps between the crystal and the case. And overall, in your hand, the watch does feel of a good quality. The finishing is definitely there. It does feel like a watch around $1,000 because that's how much this watch costs. The nice finishing and the design continues on to the dial. So this one features this sort of dark blue dial with a bit of a gradient. I also like the layered look to the dial. So first of all, you have this raised chapter ring going all around the dial. It's an open rail track. Then you also have these applied indexes for each hour marking and a double index for the 12 o'clock position. There is a date window at the 3 o'clock position. That's probably my least favorite part of the design of this watch. I say either make the date window larger or just get rid of it altogether. There's minimal writing on the dial, just Venezianico written closer to the 12 o'clock position, as well as their applied logo. By the 6 o'clock position, you have Nereide and titanium. That's pretty much it. The set of hands chosen for this watch are pretty simple. They're sword-style hands, semi-skeletonized. They are loomed. In fact, the whole dial is loomed as well as the bezel. Here's a loom shot for your reference. It features some BGW Super Luminova, which lasts for a pretty long time, and overall the application of this loom is nice and even, really nothing to complain about. This watch in a lot of ways reminds me of my Breitling Avenger 43. The way this watch looks, the way the dial looks, and even the strap options available for this watch. So by default, the watch comes on this hybrid strap that's made out of a combination of waterproof textile fiber as well as FKM rubber. The strap out of the box is a bit stiff. You do have to sort of wear it in for it to conform to your wrist, but after about a week of wear or so, it does feel nice and comfortable on your wrist, and overall the quality of the strap does feel pretty good. It has pretty simple hardware, just a loop for access strap, as well as a simple tank buckle. I believe the buckle is actually made out of stainless steel, not titanium, but I could be wrong about that. It also features a couple of quick release pins for easy swap. And you could option this watch with an extra elastic nylon strap. It kind of reminds me of these Marine Nationale straps. It just doesn't have the stripe in the middle. Those are the calling cards of the actual Marine Nationale strap. But in terms of the design of this strap, it is very similar. It is elastic, so it stretches very well. It features the same hardware, the same easy resizing, and very lightweight. So this strap is only about 14 grams in weight, And with the strap, this watch, because it's made out of titanium, only weighs about 80 grams. So it is very lightweight. Of course, that's one of the advantages of having a watch made out of titanium with these super light straps. And on the wrist, you definitely feel the comfort of titanium. So this is a bit of a larger watch. You do have to have a bigger wrist to wear this watch comfortably. The diameter of 42 millimeters is not crazy for a diver watch. However, what is pretty large about this watch is the lug-to-lug distance, almost 50 millimeters. So if you have a smaller wrist, I think this watch will simply look oversized. Between the two options of the rubber strap or this elastic nylon strap, I prefer to wear this watch on the nylon strap. Actually, another sort of element of this watch that reminds me of the Breitling is the fact that I like to wear this watch on this specific strap, because if you watched my review of my Breitling, I love to wear that watch on one of the Marina Chanel straps. I think it wears really well, it is very comfortable, and for some reason the design of that watch really looks good with one of those straps. And this watch here, just like the Breitling, has very similar dimensions. It is actually a little bit lighter in weight, and it also feels really good on this strap. Venezianico chose to use the Sellita SW200 movement for this watch. It is a high beat movement, beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it has 38 hours of power reserve as well as 24 joules. This is a great movement, and again, another element of this watch that reminds me of the Breitling, because the Breitling is powered by the caliber 17 movement, which is essentially a modified Sellita SW200. So even the movement between the two watches is very similar. To sum it all up, I think Venezianico did a really good job with this watch. As I mentioned many times already throughout this video, it does remind me of my Breitling Avenger 43 quite a bit. I think this is a great sort of alternative to that watch if you like Breitling design, but you just can't spend about $5,000 on the Breitling. You can buy something like this. Now, this is not exactly a cheap watch. $1,000 is also quite a bit of money, but I think value for money wise, you do get a pretty good package here. The one thing that I'm not so keen on is this date window at the 3 o'clock position. I wish they either would get rid of it altogether or maybe make it larger. As it is right now, I think it's a little bit undersized. The other part of this watch that I think is gonna turn off some people is the sizing of it. I think if Venezianico made this watch in a 40mm case, it would be a lot more successful. But for whatever reason, they sort of insist on making these larger watches. I think the trend in the industry is going towards smaller watches, so having this one in maybe 39 or 40mm would make it a lot more successful and a lot more accessible to more people, because as it stands right now, you do have to have a larger wrist to wear this one comfortably. I appreciate you watching this review all the way until the end. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos like this in the future, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought about this watch. I always enjoy reading your comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.